All right, so here we go. Hopefully we're recording. One limitation that this system does have is that while they will allow us to have up to 50 people on the call at any time, which is good, the bad news is that they will only allow us to meet for 40 minutes at a time. So if this meeting needs to go longer than 40 minutes, then what I'll probably have to do is close the meeting and then just reopen it. And hopefully that will restart our 40 minutes. So what I figure is, Zeynep, unless I'm crazy, I'm guessing that you won't take the full 40 minutes. So what we may do then is just ask Zeynep to talk to us a little bit, have some questions, some answers, some discussion, some conversation about it. And then if we need to go into, say, like a second section where we talk about questions and sort of general discussion, then we might have to do that.
Okay.
Sorry about that limitation. Yeah, it's surprisingly hard to find a free video conferencing tool that allows 50 people. Believe it or not.
Still on the stage.
Yeah, it's like everything's supposed to be free these days. It's really surprising when you realize you're going to actually have to pay for something. All right. So without further ado, welcome Italy. You say you do have audio now, so great. Just by way of introductions, my name is Joe Cross. When you're getting emails from e-NABLE chapters, it's probably from me. I do what I can from Budapest here in order to try and keep this community of chapters going. And so in that spirit, today we have Zeynep from our Turkey chapter. And I invited her to talk to us because, her and I have been having some conversations about some projects that are going on in her area. And she was sharing some of the activities that her chapter is doing in terms of fundraising and great projects, sponsorships and things like that, getting a lot of media. And so I thought it might be really inspiring for all of us to hear her talk a little bit about her journey, starting a chapter there in Turkey, and now it turning into something maybe even bigger than she had anticipated from the beginning. So hopefully it will give us all some ideas, and at least, sort of reassure us all that this is really good work that we're doing, and that even when it gets tough sometimes, it's worth persevering, it's worth getting through, and that eventually good things do happen. So there we have it. Hopefully that was a good introduction. Zeynep,
yeah.
you want to take it away?
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Nice to have met you. Hope to meet you in person soon. I'll talk a little about our journey, how we came to be what we are today, and I'll give some information what we're doing at the moment. Maybe I'm gonna not try to bore you to make it so long, so I'll keep it short. We met with e-NABLE in 2014, which was like approximately 3 years ago. While we were looking for a project that would show how 3D printing would change a human being's life. We are a design agency. We work with different technologies. We design experiences, events, spaces, all kinds of things. So we've been working with 3D printing for a while, for a few years, and we were looking for a project because when we said 3D printing in Turkey 3 years ago, everybody thought that, oh, I don't need it. It's something to do with space and the industry, and it has nothing to do with me personally. So we met e-NABLE. At the time, it was approximately 700 people in the community. And we said, okay, this is it. This is the project that touches a human being's life with this new technology. It makes all the difference in someone else's life experience. So we started playing around with it. We printed some of the models. The Raptor Reloaded wasn't done then. It was Raptor Hand, I think, the one we did. And we said that we should do this with a volunteer, with a person. And we started looking for volunteers. It was quite hard at the beginning because people didn't understand here in Turkey. We met with some NGOs and they thought that we were selling prosthetics. And they didn't even refer us to any of their volunteers or people they're working with.
Can I ask you a question, Zeynep?
Yeah.
About that? Did you have any printed materials or anything at the beginning, or did you just have like a demo hand that you would walk in with?
We printed a few. We printed, like, we went there, with a 3D printed hand, we assembled ourselves. And the videos from e-NABLE and all around the world, we were trying to show the video how it was working with somebody who was wearing it, but also showing the hand. They didn't, the first time we took these meetings, they didn't handle the hand at all. It was a very strange experience for us.
Okay. Okay. Thanks.
Yeah, sure. And then we are three people interested in this and founding this chapter here in Turkey. We were taking these meetings together, Serdar, Hakan, and me. One is my husband, actually. So we're working together. We went to these meetings. We didn't get results. So Hakan was yelling, cursing in a soccer match in a local neighborhood. And someone came up to him. He said, "Look, there's a friend here who lost his four fingers in a working accident. Can you help him?" So we met with him. He was actually someone who he had played ball with before. He was an open-minded young adult, 18 years old, who lost his fingers in a press job. And he had his thumb, and he went to several universities looking for prosthetics he could work with, who were able to grab stuff. And they said to him, "You have to get an operation to cut your hand from the wrist. You can't do anything with this situation." And even the ones that they offered him were so expensive. So he wanted something working. So he came to us. He was very open-minded. We worked with him like approximately 2-3 weeks. We were very excited. We were very emotional. It was our first time handling something like this. And the first trial we did, he came back with the hand in a bag, which was like
not a good sign, right?
Not a good sign. Yeah, he wasn't wearing it. But we worked on it. We made some changes. We changed the color, we changed the design, and we took some steps for making it better and gave him the second hand. It was like two weeks of work together, approximately, at this time. And the next time he came, he was wearing the hand.
Ah, see.
Yeah, that makes all the difference in the world. And
so is that your experience as well? Is that, so what was the first device? Was it just sort of like a white hand? It didn't have anything special or something like that? It was just something you could print easily?
Opposite. The first one was like a green one because we had green filament. I mean, nothing we were planning. And it was like a more raw version. Some of the stuff we had to cut, we have to bend, stuff like that. The second one was more tuned, and it was white. So when he came back, we talked with him and asked him about what he did, what he experienced. We took some videos. There's an online interview with him. I think it has English captions as well. It's on our YouTube channel, 3D Print Dünyası. I'll post it online later if you want to take a look. And then we asked him what he did. He told, I did this, and then we asked if he had ever ridden the bike before. He said, "No, I didn't think of it." And we interviewed him, and the video was over. A week later, he phoned Hakan. He said, "I'm in the Princess Island. It's the island near Istanbul, where there are a lot of recreational places. I've been there since the morning. I've been riding the bike with my brother since this morning. Thank you so much."
Wow.
Again, we were so emotional, and we said we have to do something more after these experiences, and we started writing a project for sponsorship for a big company that we are already working with as a design agency. And we said that, okay, English, the language is a barrier here in Turkey. Yes, e-NABLE has a lot of documentation and sources online. But one, it was a very complicated site then. It was hard to find what you wanted to, if you wanted to find the models. Plus, not a lot of people are using English as an internet search tool. So we put up the website robotel.org, and we translated as much as information as we could. We documented everything we did. We put it online, and okay, people, everybody do something about it. And we were in the papers and the press for a bit, and it got us some attention. And we met with the maker community here in Turkey, 3D printing community area. We went there and said, okay, this is our experience. Okay, let's do something together all about it. Nothing happened for a while.
Yeah.
Istanbul is a very fast moving, very cosmopolitan, very business driven actually city, and everybody is very hardcore working, very fast and very concentrated. You have to take time for these issues of the heart, I say. So we went to this sponsorship meeting as well, with a local telecommunication company. They loved the idea because it was very in touch with their social responsibility theme as well. And we had written a project for 1 year, but they said, okay, we don't do 1 year, we do 5 years. Please come back with us with a 5-year plan. Okay.
Can I ask you, what do these plans look like? Because I've noted that you always have a plan when you walk into your sponsorships, when you walk into these kinds of projects. And I haven't really heard a lot of other chapters talk about doing it in that kind of a structured way. Has it helped you to walk in with a plan and actually say, like, this is what we're proposing, this is how it would work, this is what you would do, this is what we would do?
Sure. From my experience, though, the first sponsorship meeting we had, we went there with an idea and got feedback from that and changed the plan accordingly. The other ones, we went there presenting ourselves and getting feedback from them and then going with a plan. That was better. I mean, it evolved in that way, because if you go there with a solid plan, the first meeting, it doesn't break the ice. It may not collide what they have in mind or what their vision or aims are as a company. But if you have like a presentation of what you are, what you do, and what you may be able to do with them, and then they have this thought process that works. And then you can solidify what you can do with them in the second or third meeting. I mean, that's my experience so far.
No, that's great.
What we were in touch with the company. We knew a little bit about their vision, so we went there with a plan anyway. They wanted that to come back with 5-year plan, but then, as it happens in Turkey, we have this political atmosphere that anything can happen here. All the executive staff resigned or was kicked off from the company. So none of the people there we met were there the next month. Mm. It was like a coup. We went for the second time for the new staff. We presented them there the idea again. They liked it again. But they said the quarter was close, so we may do it next year. Please come back next month. It was at the end of 2014, I think. And then the next month, the staff completely changed again. So we were exhausted, and we said we cannot keep up with this. Let's work with what we have. Meanwhile, nobody else was doing something to help the people. I mean, it was the website was out there, the models are there, we have written Turkish videos, stuff like that. And somebody found...
At this point, you were having a hard time finding more recipients.
We were not looking, actually. we said, okay, we made our publication. It's out of our hands now, and we have fulfilled our responsibility.
They'll find us, or
yeah, and we had so much going on with our work at the time, so we didn't even focus on Robotel anymore.
Okay.
At that period, somebody found us from Central Anatolia, a teacher who said that one of his students lost his 2 hands in an accident, if we could help him.
Oh no. Did it freeze?
No.
Come back to us. I want to hear the end of the story.
I think the internet at Zeynep's
There
side.
she is.
She's back. She's back.
Hi, welcome back.
Okay.
Good. We can hear you again.
Okay. Shall I continue?
Yeah, please. You were talking about the gentleman who had lost both hands.
Yeah. So the kid couldn't come to Istanbul either because he had just found a job, whatever. So my husband Serdar started probing 3D printing forums, social media, websites, looking for someone with a 3D printer that could do the hand. He said, doesn't anybody have a 3D printing facility nearby? I will do if you do the measurements, I will do the modeling, I will do everything. You just have to take measurements and print it and give it to him. After a few weeks, he found someone in Konya, in the local city, that could do the 3D printing. They took the pictures, they took the measurements, he did the modeling, and he sent the models, and they printed it and gave it to him.
Wow.
So after this experience, we said, okay, if we initiate people, if we force people's hand and use the force of the social media, because that was our main awakening point at the moment, we can do more about these people. So we set up the Facebook page that week. It took 1,000 likes the first week, and then we got invited to radio stations. We went into the newspaper again. We went to TV interviews again, and then also in the website we didn't have a volunteer network then. We say, okay, let's integrate this with social media and make a similar map of volunteers like e-NABLE, but Turkey this time, so that we can match the volunteers with the people who want to have this hand. And it got very successful after this launch of the social media. We
don't even have 1,000 likes here in Hungary still. I've been doing this for a while. We still don't have 1,000 likes. You're killing me.
We're up to 5,000 now.
Oh God. You just have more people in Turkey. That's the problem. I just don't have big enough.
Okay, that's one of the reasons. Okay, I'll take that.
That's it.
So after that, we got volunteers pouring in, also demands pouring in. Pouring in, I mean like 5, 6, 7, 10. I mean not hundreds. Then we started matching the volunteers with the demands. We met with a lot of good people on the way. For example, there's a student association called IEEE. It exists in all of the world, engineering students. The social responsibility group of Turkey, they volunteered in our project, said that we are willing to help in any city that we can. So, for example, in Erzincan, there was this girl that needed the measurements. We couldn't find any volunteer. We asked from IEEE. A student came to the house and took the measurements and the pictures and sent it to us. So they were a lot of help. Plus, we met with some medical staff. There is a hospital in Izmir whose doctors were personally interested in the project. And they introduced us to the executives of the hospital, and the hospital got involved as a cooperation as well. It's the first and the only, I think, hand orthopedics surgery hospital in Turkey. It's very focused on hand orthopedics. So
and they actually partnered with you. They didn't try and push you away.
No, it was the first medical good experience that we had, because we had met with several doctors who said that some of them looked at this as a business opportunity, said that we should do this and get a patent and sell it. Some of them said that they had no interest to deal with this. Yeah. So it was a very good response, and it got us motivated as well. Good, yeah. I'll fast forward. At the end of last year, we were up to 15, 17 hands delivered. approximately 600 volunteers, active volunteers, apart from the likes of the page. And we were getting meetings with corporations who were interested to do something about it. Nothing really happened yet as far as sponsorships goes, but a lot of interest rise up last year. So we said that a lot of NGOs also started contacting us. We learned about these funds from Horizon, local Turkish funds from departments of ministries of technology or European funds, stuff like that. And it seemed apparent that all of these funds were available for NGOs. So we said that, okay, we also couldn't take any money from our volunteers because we are not an NGO. We said that you can buy these stuff. We converted them to materials and stuff like that. It was a barter, an exchange of services and materials that we could do.
Was that working for you?
A little bit, but
and nobody really seems to be all that thrilled about donating filament.
We got the filament working. The filament thing was working because we are a design agency, and we are in contact with a lot of 3D printing companies. So we asked them to be in the project, and we got the filament thing working. There are several companies that do either send us filaments or print the hands themselves. Okay. So that thing was working, but other people, like, I can give a few hundred Turkish liras or dollars. I can buy stuff. I mean, the little donations we couldn't get because, I mean, they didn't know about what to buy, where to buy from. Even we couldn't buy some of the stuff here. Yeah. So we said that we should be an NGO at the end of last year. And the paperwork was finalized January this year. And we are officially Robot El Derneği, a civil organization.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And then when we finalized this, things started blooming to a second stage. You even don't know what happened the last 2 weeks. I have 2 TV interviews today. I had... Yes, I was live on TV yesterday and the day before. Like, it's been taking off so much because we were chosen as a foundation here in Turkey, Sabancı Foundation, a very big cooperation with a lot of money for NGOs, as projects to make a difference. They choose 15 projects every year. They chose us as one of the projects, and they started the launch of the project with us. A very big Turkish television filming crew came here, made a video about it. It's online at the moment, and surprisingly, and I mean, I think it's faith, I guess, I don't know. At this week that we were chosen, we were able to deliver 6 hands that we were working on. So it was like this project launch, the finalization of the 6 hands, everything what was connected this month. So it's been like a fireworks here. And we are having a lot of attention from media, from press, from everyone. And the phones have not been off ever since. because I want to mention this. Here in Turkey, people who have who are in need of this are usually not internet literate. So when we are on the main media, TV, press, stuff like this, we get a lot of demands. People are even hard. It's hard for them even to fill out the request form online. It's in Turkish and it's very simple, but even that is hard for some people. So we have been getting a lot of phone calls, both from demands and volunteers as well. Now we are over 700 volunteers. Yes, more than 80 3D printing points in Turkey. We are talking with Turkish school franchise who has more than 80 schools in all over Turkey for a sponsorship deal. We're also talking with 2 more corporations for a sponsorship deal as well. Going back to your question there, what we did now, what we're doing now for as far as the sponsorship deals go, we go there, present ourselves, say what we do already, and then give an idea of what we can do with the cooperation together, and then get their feedback. We've made a budget for the center of the NGO, for Istanbul headquarters, and a separate budget for different cities as well in Turkey. So we came up with the idea that we want to set up 3 more cities in this year. We already have one in Ankara actually, but we want to fund it. So we made this budget like 500k Turkish liras. We say that this is our budget for this year. How much can you give? And what would you like in return?
That's a good idea, to actually have a budget and let them try and pay the whole thing. That's smart.
Yeah.
That's smart.
Yeah. We say that if you want to be a top sponsor, you should pay 20-25% of the budget. But you can pay whatever you like, contribute whatever you like. We can deal with it accordingly. Because we'll mention your name and stuff like that as the top sponsors. I would like to give a little bit of information about Ankara as well. Last year in October, one of our volunteers here that we met regularly, open parentheses, we meet regularly monthly here in our office. We call for an open meeting in Meetup, Facebook, etc. Every month. At the beginning of the meeting, we introduce ourselves and give a presentation of what we do to newcomers. And in the second half, we talk with our volunteers what we can do and how we can improve on what we're doing. Maybe some of the cases, stuff like that. One of our volunteers in October, she said that she's moving to Ankara. And she said if she could help bring a local group together in Ankara that could meet regularly like us. I said, wonderful. If you are willing to organize this, I bow to you. And we trained her. Now she is the organization head in Ankara. They've been meeting for 4 months now. They've delivered 4 hands at these 4 months. And we have contacted the organization with some of the contacts we have in Ankara. First, the TED University in Ankara hosted the meetings. Now there's a foundation for technology development funded by the government. They have this place with 3D printers and presentation rooms in the Techno Park in Ankara. Now they're hosting the whole organization as well. So it's like it's becoming a sustainable chapter of Turkey, Ankara chapter of our organization. And we want to extend this to other cities as well. Recently, another news, another foundation who's working.
Sorry, hold on just one second. I think, Robbie, did you have a question?
Yeah. I just wanted to ask you. So as far as you were talking about your budget, so was this budget dedicated for some specific number of patients you would be enabling, or this was budget for all your expenses throughout the year?
All expenses.
Okay.
We made the budget. I mean, we broke down. It's very open. Like we said that, okay, we need one more 3D printer. We put a budget for hardware and expenses for materials for the hands. Also, but we also have a office renting expense, secretarial staff expense, PR expense. We need to do some of the PR. We are already using some of our own money to give social media advertisements. So I mean, small amounts, but
did you buy your 5,000 likes? That's not fair.
No,
that's not fair.
We didn't buy the likes, but when we were chosen for some of the last November we were in the headlines of a very big newspaper. That wasn't bought, but we wanted to expand it to more people, so we gave it to 20 liras, like how much is it? It's less than $10. Ad for saying that we were in this newspaper. We gave an ad for the Post, which attracted people. I mean, so I mean,
we do the same thing on Facebook. We do it mostly for our events. But it's been hard for us because I don't speak Hungarian. So for me, I could never really create a Hungarian ad that would make any sense to anybody. But now that's starting to change. I've always been preaching it, but I'm really, really, really learning the value of speaking the local language. So I'm not stepping back. And now that the Hungarians are taking over, it's a much more successful chapter.
Yeah, I mean,
one more thing I would like to ask. So do you have any specific statistics? How many amputees are there specifically in Turkey? What is their how many people are there? Do you have any census in Turkey? Because from the internet research I have done, I know there are many amputees, because many people, and especially children, are coming from different parts from surrounding Turkey because of wars and different scenarios over there. So any specific numbers, and what are the main reasons of amputations?
Okay. Unfortunately, statistics are almost non-existent.
Oh, okay.
The government has numbers of like orthopedic disabilities, but they can't even give hand orthopedic disability numbers. So they are not classified. Okay. One of the reasons of the ABS syndrome, I can't spell it in English now. They don't have any statistics here in Turkey, none at all, non-existent. So we gathered some of the statistics that we could find. For example, the ABS syndrome is like 1 to 1,500 people in the States and in Japan. We got into these statistics and made a projection for Turkey, and then we also listed the possible amputation and hand amputation reasons that could lead to us helping them. But we don't, I mean, we have the general idea how many people are orthopedically disabled. That's the number that we could reach. Other than that, we don't have any numbers, unfortunately. Everybody is asking this, but we even contacted the officials in government. We couldn't get any response from that. So what we have are projections. As far as what our cases are, most of the cases that we did are ABS connected here in Turkey. But there were some trauma cases, a few that we couldn't help even, because it was above the this part. But there are several coming in. What I was just about to say was that there's a foundation that we contacted last month, working with Syrian refugees. From them, we got a list of 20 people that needed some kind of prosthetics.
Hey,
because
Zeynep,
of war.
I hate to interrupt, but my timer is telling me that we have less than a minute
Really?
left on this. That's fine. There's
Did
only
I
5
talk
of
that
us.
much? Oh.
Yeah, it's been interesting. It's a great story. And I would like to give everybody an opportunity to do some questions and answers as well. So would everybody mind just closing down and then trying to reconnect? And I'm hoping that Zoom will allow us to. If not, then I will try and get an email out to the 4 of you that are on with a new link. But let's just try and reconnect to this meeting, okay?
Okay.
All right. Sorry for the interruption, but I'll talk to you again in just 1 minute.
Okay, sure.
Okay. Bye.